know if you can see him, with another video. I am downstairs in the studio, and with everything that's going on with social distancing and all this time we have at home, I thought this would be a great time to work on this. This is my shame, and that is the craft room. Now, I am very lucky. I have all this space basically to myself, and it's a disaster. I have yet to be able to tame it since I moved into this house, but I am determined. In the interim, I figured that I would share my shame with you. And my lord, it is horrible. But I have too much. I need to use stuff up. I need to get it organized. And not only that, I need to be okay with the fact that I am not going to have, at this point in my life, the showroom quality craft room. I am going to have a craft room that is comfortable, that has everything I need, hopefully, and that I should just be glad that I have. So, in the next however long this takes, today is April 2nd, I don't know how long this is going to take, I am going to challenge myself to organize. I can't purge right now. I purged everything I really needed to purge before we moved, but nothing has ever really felt where I want it to be in here, with the exception of my sewing machine, which is over there. So I am going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly of my craft room, which right now is pretty much the bad, the ugly. And we'll see what we can get done in the next however long. I want to say about this space is it's huge, but there's a lot of furniture in it that is staying in this room for the time being. The second thing I want to say about this room is that I have been coming down here every single night and sewing and using the space. So that makes me feel a little less guilty about it. It's quiet down here. I don't have to worry about bothering everybody who's sleeping, and that's great. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, I do have a shelf in here, like a pantry shelf, of just some stuff that we have to get us through so we don't have to go out. While this whole pandemic stuff is going on, we didn't run out and buy all this stuff. We don't shop a lot in the winter, so a lot of it we stock up on as time goes on. But I'm not trying to justify myself to you. It just is what it is. So let's see the craft chaos, shall we? So when you come down the stairs, you see Dewey, who's probably going to bark, and I'm going to have to pick him up. And this is what it looks like. This is the food storage I was talking about. I have a dresser here. This is the Gracie, which was one of my goals for this year. I have a couch that is cleaned off. I take the horse off when I record, and I have some things that need to be put away. Dewey just went up the stairs. I have some boxes that I've left here because I may need them to put some stuff away. Some pictures from the old house. All this stuff. Some paper crafting stuff. Sewing stuff that I've been using. I have books and yarn and stuff here. What is that called? An ironing board. Paper up there, which is not going to stay there. My stuffies. I have some more stuff here. I have my mannequins. I'm watching CNN. Over here I mentioned this before, I do a lot of puzzles, so I'll be talking about this more in the future. I have that. My zippers are all over the place because I've been sewing. This is where Dewey and I sit and snuggle. My coffee, my bad food. I have a quilt I'm working on. I have a bag I'm working on. I have the blanket I'm working on. It's a nightmare. Over here, this buffet is from our old house. Inside it, it's a mess. It's supposed to be fabric. It is fabric and everything else you can think of. And This is a disaster, but I have an idea for it, so I feel a little better about it. I have my craft card over here, which I couldn't tell you what is on there. I couldn't tell you. This is my sewing table. There's the horse. Come behind here, and then I have my Addy, which I have to move every time I want to get into anything. This is all more yarn, with the exception of that container, which is shirts for Kristen. She wants a quilt. Then there's this hutch thing from the old house. And up here, this is barely organized, but I don't think these things belong together necessarily. So we'll do that. And there's more yarn here. That's not going to stay there. This is how it's going to be. I want to take down that picture. And under here is just more chaos. I mean, it's stuffed to the flippin' gills. So that's the bad and the ugly. Let's see if we can get to the good. I have some ideas. I'll do some work. I'll check back in with you. I don't know when. By the power of YouTube, it'll be in a day, a few days, a few weeks, who knows. And we'll just keep going until I get it, hopefully, to where I want it to be, and then we can all be happy? I don't know. So I want to get this to a place where I feel more inspired to work on stuff. I'm looking at where I was going to put my books, and I don't think they're going to fit. So got to get my brain working again. So I am going to put the camera down, go retrieve Dewey from the top of the stairs, and get to work. I have about an hour tonight, and then it'll be time to go to bed. So, yeah. Stay tuned. It's April 3rd, day 2 of cleaning up the disaster. I got a lot done yesterday. Last night, doesn't look like it. Looks like I made a bigger mess than ever. But my goal for today is to go through this and take some measurements so I can get some clear organizers for in here. To go through that drawer over there and also get some clear organizers for there. And to go through these wicker baskets here. I'd like all my pre-cuts and quilt kits in there. I don't know if we'll get that far before I go back upstairs, but there'll be more time later today. So let's see what we can get done. Right, I'm starting to drag, but that's okay. I've gotten a good bit done, so I'm going to wrap up this video by showing you what I have done and what I still need to do. I need to order a couple organizers from Amazon, and I still have a big, I'll show you over here. This is my to be dealt with pile. But I feel good about where we are. Hi, Dewey. Hi, Dewey. He's going to be a jerk. Well, I'll show you what we've got done, and I showed you already what still needs to be done. There's still more that needs to be done. So, hang on one second. I did go through this drawer, and I'm going to get some acrylic organizers for in here. I'm undecided about what to do with those pom-poms. I should just knit some hats and put them on it and call it done, but there's that. I did tidy up my cart a little bit. I put some, there's yarn on the bottom, that bungee I used to, because I had to glue my chair back together, and I put that together. That's the quilt I am working on. And this pile under the, next to the horse and under the mini quilt is quilts that are ready and waiting for me to back them and bind them. Last night I moved my books over here, and I do need to find a home for these, but I know where they're going to go. They are going to go in here with these. This is my pile of yarn, but there's also a bin of t-shirts on the bottom. If I can go through that much yarn, not specifically necessarily this yarn, but if I can go through that much yarn, I will feel so much better, because then I can move the Addy into the corner and leave it set up and have the books there. So that's taken care of, and nothing changed there. I did tidy up that little cart and those few little boxes are all the things I use for scrapbooking and for card making. And then there's the pile of crap I still need to go through, but that's okay. I moved all of this to one shelf. Those bottom two shelves are sweater quantities of yarn. So if I made a couple sweaters, I'd get a lot out really quickly. I do still need to decide and figure out something for my puzzles. And then also, this is my cross stitch bin. I'm gonna have to think long and hard about what I want to do with that. I have this quilt here that I need to quilt, and then that'll be done. Let me try and put Dewey down. And I did go through these bins, and I have, these are mini quilts, mini quilt kits. These are quilt kits, and down here is pre-cuts, with the exception of layer cakes because those are too big. All in all, I'm pretty happy with where it stands right now, and I can kind of start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I do have one more thing that I'd love to ask your opinion, see if you guys have any ideas. So let me pull that out. As I mentioned yesterday, this is going to be the good, bad, and the ugly. And this is the ugly. It drives me crazy, but I can't figure out a good way to organize it. So, if you have an idea, I'd love to know. This down here is my zippers. It's a nightmare, and I literally have to pull everything out to find a zipper. And generally I have to measure to see what size it is, and it's just a pain in the rear. Does anyone out there have a suggestion of a good way to store the zippers? Ideally, I've seen some things online, sorry the heat just kicked on, where they hang the zippers, but I just don't have the hanging space here. So any ideas you have, I would greatly appreciate, because I am stumped. I've gone to Pinterest, I've Googled, I've done YouTube, and anytime I put in zipper organization, generally it brings me to zipper bags. And I don't want to make zipper, well, I do want to make zipper bags, but it'll be easier to make zipper bags once I have them more organized. Oh, why did I turn it around? I don't know why I turned it around. So that is where I am for right now. I don't know if this video is helpful to anyone. I hope it is. As I mentioned, I feel a lot better about where things are right now, but I still have a long way to go. But I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can finally see where this is going to be a more workable space. It is challenging with the Gracie in the middle of the room, but I do have a quilt that's going to go on there soon, so I can determine if it's something I'm going to keep. The Gracie is that big, huge quilt stand. And if I'm not going to keep it, I'm going to pop that up on probably Craigslist, because it's so big, for a local pickup, and move it on. It wasn't a big investment for me. I got it for a good deal, and I'll be happy to pass it on for that same deal if somebody else will use it, if it turns out it's not going to work for me. I think it is going to work for me, so it's a small price to pay. All right, that's my craft room so far. I call it the craft cave now. Yes, Dewey. 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 Crazy boy. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will come back soon and tell you more about what I'm doing and decisions I've made for organizing down here. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.